Welcome back to Odd Jobs Hijinks, and we're going to be calling this video Decks and More. This was an octagonal porch or deck, and we had to remove a lot of the old Trex on top, plus the lumber underneath. You can see quite a bit of that lumber is rotten, plus the old joist hangers that came with it, and the old railings as well. It just was becoming less and less stable. So demo was the first order of business, and then, as we'll see a little bit later on, replacing it with a really good looking hog panel and so forth. But there's with most of the lumber removed and some of the outer boards replaced. Still shot of that, plus again we've got another shot coming up of everything we reclaimed. So we've got an octagon deck here, and Josh and I demoed all of the old wood. You can see we've got two boards underneath that are bearing some of the load, and those are hung properly from one side to the other. Plus we have some new posts here on the perimeter. You can see those have been cut down to length so they don't go over the top. And then now we have our joists, and we installed those today. We're going to break here though. Josh also has added in these corners and around the posts, so you can see that. Plus there's going to be an umbrella piece here, but we've stopped today because it is wet, and we really don't want to start the Trex with it as wet as it is today. So we're hoping it'll dry out a little bit today and tonight, rest of today and tonight, and then it'll be installing the Trex and some of the rails and so forth tomorrow, and this will finish up this project. So we'll see you in the next segment. So here you can see some of the Trex that we've already laid out, and Josh is getting busy installing some of that, but we wanted to show you the beginning process that very next day. And you can see here again the deck as it looks before we install a lot of the Trex. Once we had the Trex installed out towards some of the posts, we had to cut some of these boards to be flush with the posts themselves. And some of the posts were 90 out and some were close. So we had to make, or Josh had to make, some accurate measurements and then cut here with the saw to fit over the top of the post itself, so that it would fit up against the board next to it and be locked in with the post itself. So just really good measurements here, accurate measurements by Josh, and then cutting out the shapes that he needs so that we can put it up over the post. And you can see some of that work here around some of the posts earlier. So here Josh is finishing up on one of those cuts, and we will then place this up over. I think we tried to fit it initially over the post, and it was just a little bit off. And the good thing too is that there was going to be basically a faceplate over the top of this, so you wouldn't actually see the cuts made into the Trex and around the post, so it made it nice and neat. Coming back just to do a little bit of detail work, you can see the homeowner's already got the rug out and the table and chairs, but we did this step as well, and it turned out really nice with the edge boards. So it looked fantastic, and I really like the hog panel to replace the old wooden slats that had been up there before. Turned out really, really well, and the homeowner was just ecstatic. They love this, and they're going to use this throughout the summer. Here's another angle of the finished product, and be interested in your comments on the hog panel down below. Give us some thoughts on what you think of utilizing hog panel. You can get this at Tractor Supply and familiar stores, but you can also pay a lot more just trying to order it online. Here's where we don't have all of the hog panel up there on the left, but you can see the entrance coming in. But again, from a distance like this looks so much nicer than what was up there. And again, I don't know if they're going to put a grill out here or not. I know they have another deck on the other side of the house, but lots of room for entertaining guests. Turned out nice. Now, let's move on to another project. This project was another deck, same neighborhood. And again, you can see we don't even have leaves completely on the trees. We had some red buds out, but there's this really precipitous gravel driveway to get down to where we're going to work this day. A little bit cool still in the early spring, but I didn't even want to be in the truck with Josh as he was going down this driveway, so I got out to film. But as you'll see, this deck that we're replacing really is on a, I guess you would call it a back house or bunkhouse. It's not really a bunkhouse, but kind of a workshop area, but it overlooks the lake. It just has a beautiful view of Lake Cumberland. So here we have Josh finishing up. Now this deck wasn't, very wide, but it was not supported well at all. Whoever built this deck originally, probably not the best at building a deck, and so we had to demo basically the entire deck. We did save the posts that you see there on the ground, and you can see the homeowner here. This is the side door coming out onto the deck. This is the other side, and you can see we've rebuilt the joists and so forth, attaching to the posts down below and in each of the corners. And I didn't have the end of that second deck, but we finished that up pronto. Now this was a homeowner that wanted to extend their front porch, same neighborhood where we just did the other two decks, and you can see it's going to be a relatively small pour, but we have it formed up correctly and ready to go, and it's going to be, it's just going to give the homeowner again a really nice addition. Plus we have to finesse it into the existing stairs. Truck and the pour, and this took us a day, part of a day, half a day to pour this, and then we have the final cut, the concrete final cut, and basically the next day drying out. On to the next project. So we go to Lowe's, we go under a tornado warning. We had to sit around while we were sitting in Lowe's to get the lumber and the Trex for the next job. This is another deck, and this was a job that was started by somebody and didn't finish, so we are in to, so to speak, save the day. A lot of this is framed up, but we've got to put some more wood in here for bracing and for just being able to put down the Trex that we're going to be using for the surface. We also are going to have to use some sleeper boards over here on the cement side so that we can get the Trex down over that as well. So it's going to be interesting. We hope to get it done about a day and a half. And this is what it looks like now, and we'll bring you back when it's done. It's amazing how these decks came back to back. Of course, this was earlier this spring, and people want to use their decks as they go into summer. So Josh and I were very busy just helping out on these 3 decks plus the concrete pour we just saw just a moment ago. Again, this particular wasn't difficult. It was just adding some additional framing, as I mentioned, and then putting down the surface ultimately. As you can see here, we made a lot of progress in getting the surface down and cutting it to length and making sure that it is gapped properly. And hot days, this was an 80-degree day, so we're both sweating. But the end result was beautiful, and the homeowner was ecstatic because they were having a derby party not long after this. So that gives you an indication of about when this occurred. In any event, we just have had a lot of work in that early spring doing decks and concrete pours, and we hope you liked the video. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next project on Odd Jobs Hijinks.